What is up, everybody? My name is Sean.
And I'm Tom.
And we're
the
Block
Block
Bros.
Bros.
Oh, okay. We're
Okay.
getting better. It's slicker. It's fluid. It's good. It's good. Tom, tell me about your week. Go ahead.
Well, it's been a pretty boring week. I had COVID this past fucking week, so I've just been stuck inside of this room. And I've watched I watched that whole entire Jeffrey Dahmer thing, so I already got that through my system like everybody. But other than that, I have watched the strangest thing that I've come across. And
do tell.
Did y'all know that 4 fish beat Pokemon Sapphire?
No. Oh, wait. Is that like they were like in a fish tank or
Yeah, they're like swimming around and there's like this sheet, right? And they just scroll over it and it literally does whatever they want. So these 4 fish legit beat Pokemon Sapphire. And it's just baffling to fucking think of. Like, literally, they did. Like, how can 4 fucking fish beat a Pokemon game?
Was there like a documentary about it or something? Like, how did you come across those?
I was just like, I was like on TikTok, and it just mentioned that this fish had died that beat Pokemon Sapphire, and I went,
oh, I saw that, yeah.
And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And so I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this whole entire playthrough. Like, obviously, I got nothing better to do.
How were they? Was it okay? You watched the playthrough, so like, were they moving all around, or like, was it pretty straightforward? Did it feel like it was straightforward?
Yeah, no, they're just moving all around the fucking tank, and it's so weird. It's so hard to describe. Like, it's magical that fish can beat apparently a Pokemon game.
I guess it's kind of like one of those things where it's like you put monkeys in a room, eventually they'll come up with Shakespeare.
Yeah,
vibe.
Exactly. So,
but you put fish in a fish tank, they'll beat Pokemon Sapphire. Well, I don't think I even beat it.
Yeah, fucking god. Yeah, as a kid, that game is hard. Like, that came out when I was in 5th grade, so I had hard times beating that. But use fish apparently. Yeah.
But shit, yeah, I get rip. R.I.P. to that fish. Did it have a name that you remember off the top of your head?
I don't specifically remember the name, no, but apparently it was one of the ones that did most of the work. I don't.
Damn.
Yeah,
the good die young, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just things you find when you're on COVID. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this for 40 fucking hours. I
feel like COVID is the great equalizer. It gives you the time to fucking do the shit. Like, you're just like, man, I've never watched all the Bruce Almighties.
Basically, fucking, oh my god.
Do it. And you're like in the middle of a fever dream, so even if it doesn't make sense, you're like, that's fine. Like, I don't have to remember this. It's just to pass the time.
Right, God.
I did something similar when I had COVID, so I feel it.
Yeah, no, the fever dreams are definitely real too. Like, I had dreams I was playing soccer. I don't think I've ever played one soccer in my life,
One soccer?
I haven't even soccered once, dude.
That's a unit of measurement on the Block Bros podcast officially. One soccer. One of them.
One.
How long is what inches, fields, yards? What
one, dude.
One soccer.
I haven't played one soccer.
I played one soccer. One of them. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, your week?
my week, there's a lot happened.
Our
It's been
Snapchat has been fun because of your week.
yeah. We have a for forever. Oh yeah, no. Me and Tom are not just podcast co-hosts. We're best friends, and we have a group chat with all our other friends. And I have this tendency to have a wild life. Not like a wild, like I'm not doing stupid shit. I'm around people that do stupid shit, and I just happen to have a phone that films it. So with that being said, the company that I work for, I won't specify. Also, I should cover my shirt for the rest of this fucking stream, apparently, because I'm wearing my work shirt. I forgot. The company that I work for, a lot of OSHA violations happen. I'm gonna change my shirt after this. A lot of OSHA violations happen at that company, pretty fucking frequently. And one of the funniest things that happened recently was none of them are gonna listen to this. I'm gonna talk about it. I was restocking some products on a shelf. Like I was on. So like picture that there's aisles. If anyone's ever worked in a warehouse, we talked about this before. There's aisles. And on one side, I was on one side of the aisle, and I heard a forklift moving. And now, for all you that don't know, Sean, your friend Sean, your trusty podcaster, streamer friend Sean, is forklift certified. I have a license. Since I got hired at this job to be a forklift operator, I haven't touched a forklift in like 2 months. I've literally not. Everyone who does not have a license drives all the forklifts, so they're driving around. And I'm not a safety conscious person. I don't give a shit. I really could care less. But this dude literally rolls his forklifts are like 15,000 pounds. I'm not being hyperbolic. They have counterweights. They are incredibly heavy vehicles. They're like 15,000 pounds. And this dude rolls into like a 4-pound fire extinguisher. just like butter right through that fire extinguisher. So I'm standing on the opposite side of a shelf restocking a product. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm halfway through the day, whatever. It's a Tuesday or some shit. Restocking a product. And all I hear is and I'm like, and then white powder starts to just like, it looks like everyone in one room. Like, have you ever been to like a douchebag frat house party and everybody is vaping? The entire warehouse looked like that. And I'm like, I'm about to die. Like, and I just I made sure to grab my keys, my cell phone, my water bottle, and my sunflower seeds.
Oh my god.
I left the warehouse and I was like the first one out of there. I was like, fuck this. Like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want to know. And it turns out, yeah, that dude ran into a fucking fire extinguisher and it's like the dust ones. So it went all over. It spread the entire warehouse. And like, they wanted us to just keep fucking working. They're like, no, dude, it's fine. Like, I'm like, that shit is like harmful to breathe. That shit is harmful to touch. That shit is like dangerous. And so anyways, yeah, they wanted us to just keep working. And it's been a weird week since then. And everything since then has been bad. Because then today I was supposed to like carry cubicles down really steep stairs, and the cubicles were like 50 pounds each, and there was like 200 of them. So like it's been a really bad week, and I'm just like, I probably won't work there much longer. So it's been a bad week, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's like the epitome of the American job description.
Straight up, like I don't know why, but I always end up in these jobs that like try to kill me. Like I don't know what it is.
He's not exaggerating either.
Not.
Like
I'll talk to people at my jobs and they'll be like, that's not normal. And I'm just like, that's what I've been doing for a year. Like,
God.
But with that being said, how about you tell the people about what we're talking about, and I change my shirt so no one knows what company I'm talking about.
Right? Yeah. Like,
go.
So we are gonna be talking about this little awesome puzzle game called Baba Is You. Now, Baba Is You is quite the weird puzzle game, I will say. Like everything seems like really simple. Like it's like just a word kind of puzzle game, and it's about like rearranging words to finish, a level. But like what challenges you is how simple yet complex every single puzzle is, because like by changing like words around, you're rewriting the rules of this game that you're playing. Like it's really, really cool. in that regard, like that you can control the rules of a puzzle game, you know?
Mhm.
So that's why I really like it. It was created by RV Tekari. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He also goes by Hempuli for his professional name. It was originally made at a game demo for Nordic Game Jam. It actually, I think, won that game jam
Yes,
as
it did.
well. Yeah, like it's a really cool little puzzle game. And then he expanded on it later. It was released on March 13th for PC and Switch. Later, I think for iPhone and Android, all the phone ones, like
All
that
the
kind of things.
phone ones. You
Right?
know what?
Like,
Randomly, I'm full disclosure, guys. I'm a little bit buzzy wuzzies.
mhm.
I always am. News flash about Sean. If I'm on a podcast, I'm a little buzzies.
Feel
But
it.
but I learned that did you guys know that you guys remember the Windows Phone?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Windows Lumia? Yeah, they stopped production in 2013, but it had its own operating system. So you can't get this game for the Windows Phone was the segue I was going.
Can't get Windows Phone. Like,
That's all I just wanted to let people know if you somehow still have a Windows Lumia from 2013, you cannot get this game.
God
Up,
damn.
upgrade, you grandpa. But with that being said, the guy did make it for, like you said, Nordic Game Jam. And I think I don't remember if he's Finnish or the game the Nordic Jam took place in Finland. One of those two things. Either way, Finnish was involved.
Yeah.
I did my research. I'm
Right.
here for it. We're professionals. But yeah, like Tom said, it did win that Nordic Game Jam for the specific reasons that he listed. That you can edit the rules of the game, and it's a very interesting thing, which we'll get into later. With that being said, we will move into storyline, which will be incredibly short. You guys ready for this?
Storyline.
I'll take this one.
All right.
There's no fucking story.
Ain't no goddamn word of story.
Zero
Like,
story. Absolutely none. You got bamboozled. You got fooled. You look like a fool right now, listeners.
yeah. All seriousness, yeah. This is the first one we've covered that does not have any storyline. I
That
could
we can find. Maybe
Yeah,
they're adding some later. I don't know. But
yeah.
it's
As
been a
far as I
minute.
know, there's absolutely nothing. You play level to level. There's no deep backstory. You're not gonna go on Reddit and find like some deep ass dark shit about this game. Like, no, this is very simple, a puzzle game.
I
And
really do love that I couldn't find because I looked too because I read for all you that don't know how the Block Bros podcast operates. We generally copy paste a lot of shit and then look at outlines and then send them to each other and then we like read each other's outline and try to get a feel for what we're talking about. That's our process, our artistic process, if you will. And and in it, Tom was like, because he sent out because I played this game today. Like I've been very behind. I played this game today, and he sent out it has no storyline. I was like, bullshit, and I googled it, and I couldn't find like any fanfic even, which was like that's a first.
yeah,
Like with popular games, like there's usually like smut.
yeah. There's usually something you're gonna find online that's either you're gonna go, huh, or you're gonna find really disturbing. And sadly, it just doesn't have. The closest thing I've found to like any kind of story is that he wrote it and he named Baba the character based and Kiki or KK.
Kiki. It's Kiki,
Yeah,
yeah. I think.
Kiki, and he based that on the Belba Kiki effect, which is like a non arbitrary mapping between speech and sounds and visual shapes of objects. But that's really reaching for some story if we're going this far.
I feel like you guys, for everyone who doesn't know, live podcast. We talk about that often. This is a live podcast. If you ever are curious what we look like or what we're doing, you can come see us live. When Thomas, he was like trying to read your face. You were just like, what is this? What am I trying to say? Like your whole face was like, I don't know what the fuck these syllables mean, and it was so funny.
Oh
Right.
fuck! No, it's all good because
No, but that's
I
super cool. I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that either. I mean, that's really the guy who made this. Bottom line, the guy who made this, you said his professional name. He seems really fucking smart at the end of the day. Like, he seems incredibly intelligent because we'll get into it later, but like, he just seems like a really intelligent dude, honestly. And if that's
Yeah.
the reason that it's named Baba and Kiki or KK or whatever it is.
Yeah, I will say his picture on like Wiki, if you like look him up, it's like the classic "I don't know what to do with my hands" picture. Like, fucking, he's standing there like this, accepting an award. Like, what do I do with my hands?
That's fair. You gotta get candid pictures for those kinds of things, dude. That's the only way to work. But yeah, bottom line is there's no storyline to this game that we know of. And because it was released in 2019 and 2021, maybe there's time for them to add a storyline and like further DLC, but we don't know. Currently, we couldn't find it. What do we do with our hands? You know, like
right? Yeah, I'm with this guy. I don't know what to do with my hands.
yeah. Currently, there's no storyline, but what we do know is that there's over 200 levels of puzzles to explore, and that is a lot for the price that you pay for this game, which we'll get to later as well. But yeah, I think that's it for storyline. I said it'd be short. I'm a liar.
Right? Yeah.
I'm a goddamn liar. All right. Graphics and art.
Graphics and art.
I gotta share the screen. I always forget to do that because I'm a
yeah.
big dummy. Present. I don't know what that voice was. That was weird. I had a weird night. Leave me alone.
It's all good. Oh man,
You're just like, stop. Just give up. There we go. It's playing. All right, talk about the graphics stuff. Take it away.
These graphics are by far probably the most simple ones we've covered. I know we've covered like some simple graphics, but this is some plain Jane, but I kind of love how plain it is, honestly. Like, the plainness of this game works so well. I don't know what it is about Baba that I really love, but I love just looking at this little sheep/rabbit creature.
I think it's a rabbit. I guess it's up for debate. I thought it was a rabbit. I had never even thought of sheep, but
right.
Sorry to interrupt, but
no, I just thought sheep because I'm like Baba, you know. But
yeah, maybe I didn't even think about that. Look at me. But I just thought it was a rabbit the whole time.
Right. It's one of them. It's a sheep rabbit-esque creature.
Character.
But, yeah. There's something just oddly cute about this thing. Like, it's like, you know, your 5-year-old self drew this game, but you kind of love it. You know, it's very plain. Like I said, there's only few things. The most things that really stick out are honestly just the writing to me. It's like that perfect little classroom chalk kind of style.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cute game to look at. There's not a lot to say about it just because like most things you see are like a very plain one solid color background and some objects on screen. Like, there will be like walls, some rocks, and everything looks like it was just drawn like really quick, but it's supposed to just be really quick and simple so your eyes can pick up on what everything is supposed to be and do right away, you know.
I think the thing that I notice about it is that it kind of reminds me of, and take this with a grain of salt, like Undertale in a way. Like, the colors are the same, the drawing is almost the same, where it's simplistic, but also you can always tell what you're looking at. Like, I know that's a rock, I know that's a flag, I know that's Baba, and there is simple animation effects that also come off of all these things. Like, when you're looking at the flag, it waves, so it has animation effect to it. It's not a stagnant thing. It is cool to look at. When you're running with Baba, he creates little, or they, whatever it is, the rabbit creates little like trails behind it. So there's animation effects there that they added to make it more fluid and more dynamic, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, you don't need it to be anything extravagant or spectacular. It is what it is, and it works really well for what it is.
Yeah, with how much of this game, like, literally you're going to be thinking about, graphics are probably going to be the furthest thing from your mind in this game, you know,
Exactly.
if that makes sense. You know, you're really going to be so inside of your own head thinking about stuff that graphics aren't going to be as big of a part of this game as versus something that's supposed to be visually appealing, you know? Like,
it's more like objects are important, graphics aren't, if that makes any sense. Like the objects in the game, the things that you are manipulating are more important than how they look.
Right.
Because the things are playable. Like when I say that, there's walls, there's words that you got to move, there's rocks, there's Baba, there's KK or Kiki or whatever. There's things that are important that you can see, but they're very sparse. Everything else, there's no real background. Like when we talk about background, we talk about games like Dead Cells or I bring up Dead Cells frequently, sorry. Dead Cells, or like, Enter the Gungeon. They have like really expansive, nice backgrounds. It's, imagine those games, but you take away everything that's not important, and you just leave the thing that you're trying to fight, or in this case, the thing that you're trying to solve.
Yeah. Like, exactly.
Yeah. It's minimalistic, but it's really well executed. And honestly, I think it looks fantastic. I really do compare it to Undertale, and that's my personal opinion. I could be totally far off about that. I mean, I've played both of these games, and that's what I compare it to. That's the only art style I think it looks like is Undertale.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't played every indie game ever. There's probably other shit.
Right, yeah. It definitely gives off that Undertale feel. Definitely, like, if they made like more characters like Baba, like if there was other characters in this game, you would get a feel that they would kind of end up like that style.
Yeah, like if you took like you put more work in developing characters instead of it just being a puzzle game, because at the heart of it, guys, this is a puzzle game. That's what this is. It is a puzzle game. You're not connected to Baba. While Baba is cute, you're not connected to Baba. There's no story. Imagine you take out all the fucking story from Undertale and you leave the cute characters, but make the puzzles 40 times harder.
Right.
And that's Baba as you. In my opinion. Anyways, from the brief amount of time that I got to play this game.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you have anything else to talk about for graphic?
Nothing really too much wise. There's not a lot to say otherwise. Like I said, it's
You're usually the
definitely
graphics guy, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's very simple. There's no, there's not even like lighting techniques in this game to really show off because of how simple it is. But it's okay with what it is going
really
for.
Yeah, it nails what it's going for. And like that's why, like, usually like when we talked about when I can't even say when we talked about when we shit on what was that one game? There's one game we just shit on
oh,
the
man.
whole time.
Yeah, unfortunately that was, oh man, that was like,
what the fuck was it called? I can't remember right now. That's how much I forgot about it. My bad. If that dude, that guy is gonna come for us one day. The guy that made that game.
I'm compared his game to spaghetti.
Yeah, that one. When we talk about like how I even forgot what we were talking about. Shit. When we talk about how like the art was uninspired, or like the art was like, kind of basic, like it's not like that with this game. Like it's minimalistic to a point. It's important that it's minimalistic. With that game, it was minimalistic, but they could have put more in, like at the end of the day. And with this game, it's like it's minimalistic because it doesn't need anything. It's not the focal point of the game. You're not playing this game for the graphics. You're playing this game for the puzzle.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't need all that extra jazz.
That guy's
Sometimes
gonna kill us.
minimalistic paintings are really nice, and this game is like an example of that. So
that guy's gonna fucking murder us.
yeah, he
We've
may.
really gotta stop with that. He's gonna kill us, dude. He's gonna hear it. He's gonna see that. It's gonna be like 100 episodes from now. Yeah, I'm assuming we're gonna go 100 episodes. He's gonna see it. He's gonna be like, oh man, like this podcast talked about my game. And he's gonna listen to it, and then every time it's mentioned later, he's gonna listen to those episodes, and every time he just puts another bullet in the gun.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god, we're gonna die! It's not even the spiciest episode, bro. All right. Well, that's it for graphics. Let's move on to sounds.
Sounds and music.
I should always do episodes way buzzing. Holy god. All right. I'm usually the sounds and the guy that talks about the noises. They weren't spectacular, but they didn't. Again, they didn't need to be. It's the same premise with graphics, where you're just like, oh shit, like they're not awesome, but like, I don't care because I'm here to play the puzzle. Like it's like when you go to Subway and you're just like, can I get a pizza? No one does that. You don't go to Subway for a pizza. You go to Subway for a sub. I go to this game for puzzles. I don't go to this game for graphics or sound.
And if you're that person that goes to Subway and orders soup, like,
stop listening to the
bro, get
I'm
your
the first
life
person-
together. Like,
I'll be the first person to tell you this is not the podcast for you.
like, if you go to Subway and you order soup, get the fuck out of here.
Get the
Like,
fuck out of here! Yeah, we actually have a vendetta against you. Get out! Please just stop. No one likes you. Reevaluate your life, the structure that you live in. Like, just really think about your choices. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you need to do something, but maybe go to the hospital, check yourself in. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But soup and are you fucking serious? All right. The music is mid. Is all I'm saying. It's not. I mean, it was all developed by one guy though, which is neat. I respect that because like, what the fuck do I do?
yeah, I will say,
You know?
the music, yeah, it like Sean said, it's pretty mid. Just like the soup at Subway, it's
Jesus
mid as
Christ, Subway's
fuck.
gonna sue us, bro. Subway's gonna sue us, dude. What do we do?
But yeah, I mean,
Oh
it's
fuck, my headset. turned
it's
off.
not really supposed to be anything overwhelming. It's supposed to just induce a state
To
of thought
complement the
into
other
you.
things.
Yeah, like,
And it does, and it does a really good job. Actually, the music and the sound effects do complement. Good job, Tom. It does really actually complement the other things. But by itself, I tend to judge music and sound by itself as its own category, as I would want someone to judge anything I created. But it is very complimentary to the game itself because the game itself is very minimalistic. I mean, the graphics are minimal. Like the story is minimal. It's not even there. And the music is minimal. But and the music and sounds are minimal. But that's okay because the whole game is, and you're focused on playing the puzzles. You're not focused on music and sound. It's nice because it honestly, I'd actually give it a higher ranking because it's non-intrusive. It doesn't distract you from what you're trying to do. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely, I'd agree with that for sure.
Yeah, because we'll get into it in a minute, but the puzzles are fucking hard.
Yeah, this game is not for the faint of heart if you're not into hard games. So be warned.
All right. Well, with that, let's move into content.
Features and content.
Oh, good one. Okay, cool. I was saving that. I just wanted to make sure it ended up on. I want that documented for history. I want my grandchildren to disrespect me because of that one. What do you content, Tom? You start. You choose the first one.
Let's just start out by, let me say, this game is equal parts fun and equal parts challenging and hard, and you're gonna be like tearing your brain open, racking your head around some of these fucking puzzles. Like, though sometimes the solution is the simplest thing, it's weird what your brain does. This game, I think, is more of like I think it goes beyond puzzles because this is like a human brain experience. Like, it's supposed to make your brain think in different ways than it's supposed to solve a problem. And that's really cool, you know? And that's what makes the game equal parts easy and hard. Like, you can sometimes think of a solution like that to like a really hard one, but a really simple puzzle will stump you, you know? Like, it's a really turn your head around kind of puzzle game. It's so hard to describe that way.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult a lot of the time, and the other times, like Tom said, it's super easy. Like simple puzzle can take you a stupid amount of time for no reason. I do like that you put it like it's like a experiment with the human brain, because like it really does take you out of your comfort zone and makes you think about why. You're like, oh, can I make this choice? And if I make this choice, what happens? But like, it's in a very real and minimalistic way that doesn't feel detrimental. It feels like you have to rely on your wits in the most fundamental sense. It's very I don't even know what the word is. It's just interesting. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it. It's just really interesting. Like you have to try to problem solve real time and hope that you're making the right choices.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can get frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like seriously, sometimes levels can be solved in like one step, and sometimes levels take about 14 steps to solve, and sometimes you don't know which it is, and you're gonna drive yourself nuts by trying to do like 14 different steps on a puzzle that required two. You know, like that's what I mean. This game literally plays tricks on your brain, and that's really
It's
cool.
it's
It's like
see, and
dimension
I feel like
breaking.
I don't know if it's just me, but it feels incredibly well crafted because everything is so minimalistic.
Hmm.
Everything is so minimalistic, like all the time. And at the end of the day, because it's minimalistic, you think this can be an easy, quick solve. Like I'm just gonna go in here, play this game, solve this puzzle, no big deal. But then you get into it and you're like, this was incredibly deceiving. It was
Yeah.
disgustingly deceiving, and you don't know if you're gonna, win, lose, or never be able to figure it out. I feel like
Yeah.
this is the game that you remember, like, I don't know if they still exist, but like when we were kids, like guides were written about. Like like I
Yeah.
used to go on like websites and be like, how the fuck do I get through the water temple in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time? That's a real Google search. I did that a lot. That's this, but modern aged and more like minimal.
Right, yeah. Sometimes it feels like you did every fucking Here's the thing, is every level is fairly meant to beat. But you will think that fucking some puzzles are literally unwinnable in this game. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
your brain, it plays so many tricks on you to think that you tried everything until I one time I just started rearranging stuff and I magically beat a level and I was like, how the fuck? Like
And then you sit there and you like look at it and you're like,
yeah,
like, and
basically.
I feel like that's part of the charm of this game, though. And I don't know if I'm
Mhm.
taking it into another piece of content we want to talk about, but another charm of this is the come to fucking realization moment when you're like, oh my fucking god, like you just get like
Yeah.
you're just like it was that the whole time, and that's the whole game.
Yeah, basically.
And
Like
like it's
200 levels of that.
yeah, yeah, and like for people like me who like I have those a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I have come to realization moments pretty frequently, but with games like this, it was a little frustrating because I'd be like, it was every fucking level. It makes you question your intelligence, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, like it don't matter how smart you are. This game, like, it will crush how smart you are or how dumb you are. It don't fucking care.
Your
Like,
self-esteem will be shot after playing this game in a humbling way, not a shitty way. Like, because it's not like someone like rejects you for being dumb and stupid. It's like you're like, oh god, I'm not that smart.
right?
Yeah, but and with that, I would like to talk about the fact that one of the basic principles of the game is that the rule changes based on words and verbs, which is super interesting.
Hmm.
So for everyone who's not live watching this podcast, essentially the premise of this game is that there is literal objects on your screen. There's like objects you can tell. There's like rocks and Baba, which is a bunny, and then there's reeds, which look like little plants, or there's columns or walls. There's
Yep.
objects in
Yep.
a two-dimensional space, and then there's words that also are in that two-dimensional space, and those words make phrases. And you can move those words to change the rules of the game. So, for instance, what we're looking at on screen right now, it says Baba is you. You are concurrently controlling Baba. If you change that to say Baba is flag, for instance, you will suddenly start moving the flag instead of Baba. So, like,
Yeah.
you change the game based on where you move the words. The words aren't always in opportune spots. You have to solve a lot of time. You got to solve puzzles to move words, and then vice versa. You got to move words to solve puzzles. And it's really interesting and unique. I don't think there's a single other game that I can say that makes it anything similar to this, where you have to actually physically move a word to create a verb to solve a puzzle.
Yeah, like it's really crazy how many rule changes you can make just by flipping a single word around. Which, by the way, this game is a goddamn grammar Nazi. Like sometimes,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you'll think something is gonna work, and then it's like, nope, sorry,
You'd
you
be like,
didn't.
grass is life, and you'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like basically, like it's really cool though, because sometimes like you can change like how you win the game. Like it's like, oh, is the flag win? It's like, no, you can change wall is win, like or
And then you change
water is
wall is
win.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make like, yeah, the wall is you and move like the whole entire wall around and you're no longer Baba, like
It's bonkers, y'all. It's actually like when you really get into it, it gets so fucking crazy, and it progressively gets harder and harder, and more words and more phrases, and things change, and it's just like I think it's at some points in the game you can hit up to like 10 phrase, like 10 blocks stacked together to make one phrase. Like Baba is you is this, flag is what like, and it just continues. And the thing that it reminded me most of personally, because I've been doing it a lot lately, for everyone who doesn't know, I'm currently in a program to become a data analyst, and I'm working on learning coding, and it's very similar to coding, where you have to be like, exactly, Baba is you, parenthesis, put in something else, XY plus Z equals, and
yeah.
then that translates to the code. It feels like that. It's super weird, and I've never experienced it in any other game, but it's also super satisfying when you do have those aha come to God moments where you're like, oh my God, I fucking know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, like this game, yeah, it's really cool because, like Sean said, it is kind of like coding. I don't know like a lot about coding. I remember taking a little bit of it in high school, but it is kind of like that. And God, it's so challenging with how many. Like I've never played a puzzle game. You know how there's always rules in games, no matter what. This game basically is like, yeah, fuck the rules. Like you hear the rules. Like you can
You had to
change them.
change the rule. I feel there's still like there's a box of rules, and like when you go when you go to like a wedding, and there's like all there's a photo booth, and there's props in the photo booth, and you're like, you could be anything, but like you can only be what's in that box. That's the game, is the box. Like
Yeah.
like you can only be what's in the box, but you can change anything in that box, and that's what's interesting about it. Is like it still has parameters, but the parameters are definable, and that's super neat, dude.
Right, yeah. And God, this game, like with the words and stuff, it gets so like once you start figuring out is when it starts dropping like different things like and not and has
Or
being the worst. Yeah, or like God, it's weird that a verb or just one word can fuck up your brain so much. But yeah, the word has a totally different fucking meaning to me now. And now it just drives me insane because of this fucking game. Like
and I'm one of the main reasons I compared to programming was because like when this game was being made, fun side note about, I learned about this later after I was like, this seems like programming when I was playing it, was when I learned about the history of this game. It was Nordic Gem Fest. That was where the event was created, and the event had a theme to it, and it was called Not There. So the creator of this game said, not is a programming word. I can, like, why don't I just create a game based on like programming lingo? And then he created this game, at least the original demo, based on not. And so it was like, Baba is not this, and then
yeah.
he continued with the programming lingo to make it Baba has this, Baba is this, Baba, and like, and you just continue. And he actually, I watched an interview with him where he talked about one of the main things he did was he would reverse engineer it. So he'd be like, what is a word I want to use? What is a programming thing I want to use? And how do I implement that into a situation in a level context? And that's super interesting to be like, I don't want them to be able to, I want them to have to use the word and. How do I make them use it? And like he would talk about that, and It was really interesting. I don't know. I've never heard a programmer really talk about it in the same way that he did, where he's like, I want to force people into a situation where they have to use these specific things, but also give them the freedom of choice to believe that they don't have to use them.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of like this game in and of itself is like there's so few ways and many ways to win a specific level, and that's what's hard. Is it's very open-ended and close-ended at the same time, and you don't know which it is.
Yeah, and like Tom said, sometimes you just be fucking around in it and be like, I moved 4 things and suddenly I won, and I just didn't get it for 30 minutes.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, God, it's one of those puzzle games, where after a while you think you tried everything, so you just start fucking just blindly hitting the fucking goddamn controls, and suddenly you win, and you're like, wait, how did I win though? Like, fuck, I want to know.
But with 200 plus unique levels, it really does challenge your understanding of what you need to do in this game. It's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, and while it adds things, it also takes away things and changes what you believe you should do based on the situation. It makes you have to adapt, which not a lot of a lot of games be like, oh, we gotta, you play a shooter game, you have to adapt to someone coming up from your left. You play this game, you have to actually think about things. You have to change your mindset. You got to actually be like, but if I put this here, what's going to happen to X, Y, and Z, instead of just, if I look to the left, there's a guy there. You know what I mean? Like it's totally a different perspective, and it makes you critically think, which not a lot of games do.
Yeah, no worries. It's God, it's so hard. Like, we're trying our best to describe this game, but like unless you literally sit down and you play some levels of it, like you're really not gonna understand the thought provokingness that this game is trying to go after unless you play it yourself. Because like it's really it's a hard ass game, not only to describe but to fucking play, and the sense it puts on your brain, it'll make you think differently about how you solve any kind of problem, and that's really cool that a game can make itself feel that way.
You guys remember that? What is that fucking game? It's gonna bother me unless I think about it. The what is it? The 3DS game. It wasn't 3DS. It was like the DS game. Thinkiverse or whatever it was. Remember that? I don't know. I'm probably not the actual name.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like, I
What the fuck is
mean,
it called? The fuck is it called? It's really gonna bug me. I'm like googling it right now. It's like the one where it has like the floating head, and he like asks you to do like stuff every day. That game wishes it was this game.
basically.
That's all I was trying to say. Was that game is like a cheap knockoff of this game. This game is actually difficult and actually makes you think. It's not just like sitting around and doing a Sudoku. This game makes you critically think about the actions that you're making and how they're going to affect other variables, which is incredibly unique with the game. I have not seen anything else like that. You can play like you can play story games that you choose something and it affects something later. I get that. This game actively, you can see your choices in minimalistic responses. If I choose Baba is me and I move around, but also KK is move. Well, at that same time, I move, KK moves, and then like KK might affect something I don't want him to affect. Your choices have consequences, your actions have consequences, and the things that you choose actively affect the game and your chances of solving the puzzle. It's a really unique concept. And I
Yeah.
love that. It makes you think critically and analytically, but it also doesn't stress it and it doesn't overwhelm you at the same time.
Right? Yeah. No, I definitely feel that. Yeah. It's meant to stress you out, but in the right way.
Yeah, it's complicated. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking complicated. It's really goddamn difficult. But in a way that is fun and enjoyable and not just like it's hard for the sake of being hard. It's hard to make you think, and then when you figure it out, it's easy.
Yeah. Like, it's a real game where the biggest enemy in this game is your own mind not trying to expand its thinking process. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's dead on, dude. That sounds 100%.
mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all the content. Honestly, I feel like we nailed it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's not much more to talk about in this game. There's nothing crazy to really talk about that, like, content-wise we usually can get into. You know, there's no weapons to talk about. There's no, like, gameplay talk
It's just,
about. Like,
yeah, there's no
it's
other people. It's
yeah,
you. Yeah.
it's really you alone solving puzzles, and it's like for a game that I'm not much huge into the puzzle genre, but God, this is one of the few that I've played that really racks your brain.
And you
In
suggested it to me, so like
yeah,
that's not only that you played it and you were just like, oh, like it's a game. Like you're like you should play this game, and I was like, oh shit, okay, well, like I don't. Tom doesn't usually recommend puzzle game. Like
I'm not a puzzle person, like, but this is one I feel like everybody should play because it's gonna challenge your critical thinking and expand your thinking. So
yeah, it really does make you a problem solver at the end of the day, which is like something everyone wants to be. I feel like, and so like this
mhm,
game critically makes you think about your choices, like we talked about, and the variables to go along with your choices.
yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk about movement and controls.
Movement and controls.
I'll let you take this one.
All right. How about up, down, left, right? That
Push pull, my guy.
Okay, yeah. There's push and pull. Okay, fine, fine. There's
Got
that.
him.
God,
Got him. Think critically, my dude. Jesus.
right? Yeah, but it's very bare bones kind of controls. You can push things. You can sometimes pull things. Like it's you have to specifically say you can pull things.
Yeah. It's
but
dependent on the words that you move. Yeah.
but yeah, like it's very limited on like kind of like controls, and I think it's supposed to be, half of these puzzles would actually be really easy if you could
If you
pull
can pull.
words.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I
but
thought
most
that
of the
too.
time you can only push, and trust me, your brain is gonna be like, "Oh, I can move this over here," and you're gonna forget you can't pull things. And you're gonna be like, "Shit, that doesn't."
You'll push a word into a wall and you'll be like,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
cool, and then you'll fuck up because you can't
yep,
pull it out of the wall.
yep.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
at least with like control wise of this game, it doesn't have the brutalness where you have to start a complete level all the way over. You can like kind of rewind a few steps, so if you do fuck up like that, you can save yourself.
I do think that's a function that we should talk about. The rewind function is I feel like it's part of movement controls. The rewind
Mhm,
function is a big part of this game. It's like an edit undo kind of vibe. You
yeah,
can do it for as long as you want, and it's super helpful because you're like if you guys have ever like understood something in the middle of getting something wrong, you'll get what I'm saying. Like you're just like, oh shit, like the answer was 2 and you wrote down 4, and then you can just like go back and redo the problem and be like, oh, it's fucking 2. Like I understand it now. That's the same with this game. You have like a very simple rewind function to undo a bunch of steps to get you back to a problem, a place where you can solve it instead of starting all over. And that's really helpful when some of the puzzles get a little longer.
yeah. Like I said, some require so many steps, and you can just fuck up one step, and it could be like step 7 or something, and you accidentally moved on to like step 12 already. Then you don't have to start all the way over, which is really nice. But even still, like sometimes you'll realize while rewinding that you fucked up everything entirely almost from the beginning anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sometimes you do need to start over.
yeah, like God.
Start
You might
over, wash your ass, play again,
yeah, like
Life advice by Sean.
yeah. And another thing, you can fuck up sometimes levels so bad that there is no possible way of winning, and you have to start over. Like, because I have fucked up words around in this game that I'm like, what the hell am I even doing anymore? And you create a whole new puzzle that's literally unsolvable. So,
Yeah, but the controls are incredibly simple, like we said, up, down, right, left,
hmm
push, and sometimes pull.
yeah,
Super easy. That's really all I gotta say about controls.
yeah, pretty much, super basic controls, nothing to write
It's a
home about.
puzzle game,
Yeah.
You ever played Tetris? That. It's not that. I don't know why I said that.
Right.
Tetris on steroids, like it literally does steroids, and then it's this game. It kind of, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going with that. Tetris on steroids. There you go.
It's on steroids,
The illegal kind, not the fun ones. Not
right?
the legal ones. All right.
Closing thoughts.
With closing thoughts, we always hit the same kind of categories. So, with that being said, guys, Tom, what do you think about the replayability of this game?
Not the highest replayability, because sometimes, once you figure out a puzzle, you generally got it down. You're probably going to forget some of them after a while because there's over 200, so you're probably going to forget like level, the first few. And there is multiple ways to solve it, so sometimes your brain will literally solve it a different way. But still, it's kind of like once you solve a puzzle, you'll be like, okay, I moved on, and I never want to solve that thing again. So at least that's how I am with puzzles. So I'm more of like a one playthrough with this kind of game, but that's just me.
I remember the game I was trying to reference earlier when I said the one where it has Sudoku in it. It's Brain Age, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's not like unfun like Brain Age. It's actually
Yeah.
fun. That
Right.
was, and also Dr. Ryuta Kawashima. If you hear this, your game sucked. Okay, thanks. Call out, actual call out. Fight me. My replayability in this game comes in the fact that there's 200 levels. Like that's the main thing. It's like even if you beat the game and you're like, oh, should I beat the game? You still got the 200 levels. That's gotta feel like a lot of time in this game. So even if you'd never replay it again, it was still. It's like you ever imagine getting to like level 500 of Candy Crush? When you're at level 500, you're not gonna remember level 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that's the same kind of vibe with this game, but in a better way, actual complication way, where it's like it was complicated to solve everything. It wasn't just like I'm just gonna put 4 fruits together. I hate Candy Crush. I'm just coming at games tonight, I guess. But
Candy Crush is like 80% based on luck that you get at the beginning of the game anyway. So
you know what I mean, though. But it's just like this game actually takes like problem solving and thinking about shit, and each level is critically designed. So by the time you're at level 200, you won't be thinking about level 2. Even if you never replay it, it's a lot. With that being said, I haven't played to level 200, so I guess I don't know if I'd replay it.
Yeah, like right once you start getting to level 100 is when like this game is already complicated by level 5. Okay, so like level 100 is like, I mean, it's fucking mind-boggling. I've had levels in this game that literally have taken me over an hour to beat, and I think my longest I spent on one level was about an hour and a half, and that was ridiculous. Like I was like, okay, I want to die. Like
if you can play this game, you can run for Congress.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
It's harder. It's harder to run for Congress than it is to finish this game. Thank you.
Right.
That's it. What's next on the list? Fun factor. Where would you rate this 1 to 10 fun factor, Tom?
Requires the specific kind of right person, but I give it like a nice solid like 7. Like it's fun. It's like a challenging kind of fun. If you're in for like kind of a brain teaser, sometimes you just want to kind of do that to your brain, give it a little bit extra fun jump start. This is a good game for expanding that. It's one of the better ones, honestly. It's like, it expands your thinking powers in the right way. So I think it's like fun in its own regard. It requires you to be in that specific kind of headspace, but if you're in that headspace, you're going to have a fun time with this game.
Yeah, I think it really requires an analytical mindset. You can't go into this game expecting that it'll be a shooter. Like you're going into this game because you want a challenge. You want something that's, a challenge in a calm environment. You want to get better at problem solving. You want to learn what you can and can't solve as a human. And I think that's really important. I think that it does, for me, rate around the 7 to 8 mark. Depending on you as a person. I'm becoming more analytical as an adult, so I'm understanding that I like these kinds of things. And that's a big part of it, is why it's between 7 and 8 for me, is that it is problem solving, it is fun, and it is cute. and I like that.
Yeah.
And it's different from everything else. You always talk about a rage factor with this. I'd actually put the rage factor with this at like 8 though. Like I get fucking pissed when I can't figure something out.
You're gonna get frustrated in this game, mostly because you think you thought of everything, but you didn't, and you know you didn't. So you're, I don't know if whether sometimes I get more frustrated with the game or with my own brain for not
Yeah.
thinking of fucking solutions to some of these problems, but yeah, you're gonna get kind of mad playing this game at some point. Just some
sure.
puzzles will stump you, especially oh my god, the more simple puzzles will drive me insane in this game. When there's like 2 rules on the screen and like 2 lines of words, ooh, prepare yourself because those are the hardest ones or the simplest puzzles in this game, and that's gonna make you the most angry. Like,
Yeah, you're just like you're sitting there and you're just like, this is gonna be super complicated. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna be the smartest guy, and then it's just something like move 2 blocks.
right? It's like if there's 3 ways to win a level, that's nice, but sometimes there's just one way to win some levels in this game, and those are the really hard ones that are really gonna test your thinking, and it's really gonna drive you crazy, you know?
Definitely. Do you have a favorite or least favorite part of this? And I know it's kind of a hard ask because there's not a lot with this game.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part is a little bit beyond like the actual game is that this is a true indie project. And what I mean by that is like indie games, though they are usually developed by a small team, this was literally designed by the mind of one person, you know.
Mhm.
All the art, all the graphics, the sound, the game itself, like all of it coming out of the mind of like one person to create a game that like in of itself is really different than a lot of puzzle games, challenges the way of human thinking, and like created it in a way that it lays out so simple yet so modestly. It's something really cool and something to behold in this game, you know. It's a
Mhm.
true indie game. One single person had a dream to develop, like, I mean, not at first, it came from, the game jam and whatnot, so it kind of inspired right there. But the fact that one person can literally make something so complex and simple and cool is really just something cool to me as like a person, you know.
Yeah, it's just like that's the spirit of indie. That's just
Yeah.
like that's what it is. It's
Yeah,
it's
this game has the true spirit of an indie game. Yeah.
exactly. And it showcases all those features incredibly well as well. Did you have a least favorite part? Just wondering.
Getting stuck on a level for over an hour, like that, and swearing off of that level, going back to it, trying to solve it again, like fucking you just something drags you back in this game in the best and most horrible ways. Like
Mhm. It's frustrating, dude. I think that my favorite part of this game is that it's really hard to define. It's really hard to act like there's other games that are like it. Well, it is a puzzle game at its core. It's unlike most other puzzle games in any way, and the fact that it involves like someone who's learning programming, it involves a lot of what feels like programming to it. That there's multiple ways to win. There's a lot of things I love about this game. And those are most of them. It's like it's very unique in its entirety.
right. I like how this episode we're just like in like one of those sensory pools and we're like, what does it mean to be a game? What does
Yeah,
it mean
like
to be human? Where am I?
where am I? Where am I? I like grilled cheese. But like it's just it's very unique in its concepts and it's very cool. I really like that. It's just really fun to play. It's an experience that I think that if you like puzzle games, you should just play, which is where I'd say what would I recommend this game. Yeah. But my least favorite part is exactly what you said, getting stuck on parts where you're just like, this is fucking bullshit. I've done everything. And then you like maybe you get like for me when I get caught on things, I take the easy way out every time, and I just Google it. That's just who I am. And I was like, how the fuck do I'd rather have fun than struggle through something. So I Google some shit, and I'll be like, are you serious? And I'll get angry about it. And like, while that is my least favorite part, that sometimes I can't understand it, it also ties into the beautiful favorite part about this game is the aha moment where you understand it.
Yeah. Like,
So
really, the frustration almost goes hand in hand with the fun of this game, and like
it
I don't
ties in,
often- yeah, and it ties in really well together.
Usually it doesn't. In most games, the frustration and the fun don't tie into each other.
Yeah,
The
like
only
they're
other
two
games that
totally
have
separate things.
the only other games that have like the fuck you factor are like Elden Ring, like where you die and you're like, oh, this fucking sucks, but that's part of it. Like this game, I can't understand it, but that's part of it. Like, you know, like,
Yeah, like
same kind of vibe.
right? It's supposed to make you kind of frustratedly think, and it's kind of cool that it goes for that and it works. Like
This is the Elden Ring of puzzle games.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
I mean, the puzzle's set out to frustrate you on purpose, but
Yeah.
in the best way. Like,
And you sign up for it when you play this game. Like you know
Yeah.
that you're going into that. And the beautiful part about it is that it's an easy game to put down and come back to.
like
So like
it's-
if you get so frustrated to the point where you're like, this fucking sucks, I hate this, you can put it down. And like a lot of people, like me especially, like when I can't understand something, if I put it down and then I come back to it later, I have a better understanding because my brain will just like work it out subconsciously. You know what I mean?
right, yeah, exactly.
Most people are like that. Actually, there's like most of the greatest inventions in history, discovery, they like chalk it up to like muses or like God intervention. But like most of the time, when people who are like just cannot figure something out, they put it down and come back to it later. It's because their brain just worked it out some kind. Like they had a dream about it. They thought about it all day, and their brain just like kept working about it. That's what this game will do to you. If you can't figure something out, put it down, come back later, you'll get it. And that's what's interesting. It really, we said it at the top of the episode. It really changes the way that you think. It really challenges your brain in a fun
Yeah.
way, which I don't think a lot of people get as adults.
Mm-mm. It's very hard as an adult to find that in a stimulating kind of sense. It's like,
Yeah, in a way that doesn't feel like you're forcing yourself. This is at the
Mhm.
end of the day, it is a game, but it also feels like you're not forcing yourself to do it. Like you're having a good time. You're enjoying the problem solving instead of it being something that's detrimental and makes you feel shitty.
Yep.
Which I think we're all looking for, honestly. I don't want to feel shitty because I don't know how to solve something, Deborah.
right.
I want to get it and come back to it. Is there any games that this game reminds you of, Tom?
Off the top of my head, it's really, really hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very in and of itself like a puzzle game that really hasn't been done yet. I guess like what the best like puzzle game I'll recommend it to is Gorogoa, like I don't know if you've
Mhm.
ever played that,
I
but
don't
that
think I
one
played that one now.
yeah, it's totally different than this, but it's also a very stand by itself kind of puzzle game. It more relies on pictures and stuff in that
Mhm.
one, but like the way it plays with your brain, I guess, is kind of feels similar to that, and that's why I'm kind of giving it. It's not because
Yeah, it's up
it's
to you,
like
man.
the same game, but because of the headspace it brings you into.
It puts you into a different kind of headspace. Yeah, totally,
Yeah,
totally,
yeah.
dude. I understand that.
Yeah.
I think if I had to compare it to another game, and again, like Tom said, I would like to give this game props where props are due. Give credit where it's due. This game is unlike most other games I've ever played. It really does challenge you, and it's really unique in its concepts and features. So I would like to make that very clear. But I would like to compare it to Superliminal. That's another game, another
Yeah.
puzzle game I've played where it's not like in this game it makes you think about. I would base if I had to like define this game as like break it down to its components, I'd say this game makes you think about like words and components and sentences and verb structure and coding. Like that's how this game works. And now imagine the same exact thing but with perspective. And
Yeah.
that's what Superliminal is. It's like you have to change your perspective and drag objects and move objects to change your environment. Superliminal is very similar to this game in that aspect, where it puts you in that headspace like you were talking about, and that's why I think they're comparable. When I looked it up though, because I was like, I gotta find other games like this, it was not on the list, and I was a little surprised because to me they felt very similar.
Yeah.
So,
I can
but
see
check
that,
out
yeah.
Superliminal too if you like this game, I guess, is my perspective, and let me know what you think.
Right.
Also, it's just a really fun game. I played that one on stream. Also, this is the first game that I think I've never played on stream. Like, this is just a game that I played by myself because I didn't have a lot of time to stream the last couple weeks. So, yeah, that was weird too. And lastly, how much would you recommend this game, and who, or better yet, who would you recommend this game for?
I'd recommend this any puzzle kind of player. You should play this game because of how different of a puzzle this is. But I recommend this to really anyone who's looking for that kind of mind challenge in a game. Like I said, if you're one of those people who like to sit around and maybe do Sudoku or something, fucking pick up this game. Like, this is like expands your mind more than that ever could. Like, if you're like sitting around and you like critical kind of thinking, play this game. Like, it's gonna do a lot for your brain.
Definitely. I think I agree with that fully. I'd say if you have anyone in your life that's just like an analytical thinker, like someone that is really interested in programming, interested in math, interested in anything analytical, anything that is not abstract, they'd probably love this game. They would probably love to sit down and play this game. It's also just a really chill game to play too. So if you have time, even if you're not an analytical person, if you want to sit down and just play a game that's like chill, give her a rip, see if you like it. Yeah, just play it. Honestly, it's unlike any. I don't really like throw out a lot of. It's unlike any game I've played, but I could only think of one, and it wasn't even on Google when I googled it, like for if they're related. So that's saying something about this game. It's very indie. It's exactly. I feel like this game is exactly the kind of game we should talk about on this show. It's an indie game, true, thick and thin. So
yeah, one of the most true indie games I can think of. So
100%. All right. Well, with that being said, if you're a developer that wants to talk about your indie game with us, shoot us an email. Our email is blockbrospodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's blockbrospodcast@gmail.com. And also, if you have any, games you want us to talk about, shoot us an email. It's blockbrospodcast@gmail.com. Tom, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Ticking Time Tom. Wow. Ticking Time Tom on most platforms. And Tom Dykers Tattoos on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. Anchor 13 Tattoo is the name of my business. You can shoot me questions about any tattoos or any games anytime.
Awesome. And of course, I'm Sean Ginger. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Not lately because I've been in school, but that'll be changing tomorrow. I'm coming back tomorrow. I've been off for a week. Coming back tomorrow, Wednesday. And it is Spooktober, so I'll be playing literally spooky games all October. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday on Twitch, and Sean is a Ginger. SEAN is a Ginger, all one word, on every platform. Of course, guys, you can always find all our socials, and if anyone's ever on the show, or if you want to purchase the game, all of that is in the show notes. If you end up purchasing the game, we do get a slight kickback, and that just goes to fund the show and getting us better equipment. We do this as a hobby. It's just for fun, but like it really does help. And then, of course, guys, if you have listened this far into the show and you like it, please make sure to rate the show 5 stars, give it a review, tell them why we're funny, why we're great. It does help more than you guys think. It pushes it out to a wider audience. And Block Bros Podcast is a live podcast. It streams on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube every Tuesday around 10:30.
Yeah.
And so if you want to see what we look like, come on by, or don't, I guess. The opening theme is 8-Bit Fun by the Heatley Bros.
Oh, we got to talk about what we're covering next week.
Yeah, I was going to throw that in.
Okay,
right here.
I thought
you
were
do it. No, you do it. I was literally about to say that, but you do it. You said it.
Oh my God. Oh, okay.
You
I
remember?
was excited. And guess what? Literally, as I said that, my brain went, "What was the name
Yep,
of that
I
fucking
figured,
game?"
I figured, yeah. Next week, since in honor of Spooktober, we're gonna be covering some horror games. So we're gonna be covering an indie game called World of Horror.
God
Kinda on
damn
the
it!
nose.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of on the
Why-
nose. I'm surprised you forgot that. Actually, it's like
I was like,
right on the nose. So
my brain
um,
was like, "It's State of Horror," right? And then I'm like, "No, that's not it."
it's kind of
Right.
like a choose your own adventure text battler Pokemon. As I wouldn't even say Pokemon. It's really interesting. You guys should check it out. I might replay it on my stream. I don't know yet. Either way, come back next week. We're gonna be talking about that. It will be spooktacular. Oh,
Ooh.
and as always, guys, Blog Bros Podcast is a Lost Media. Wait, what's Lost Cause Media production? That's my own company. I don't fucking remember it sometimes.
We don't know our own
Jesus.
fucking shit.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Lost Cause Media.